This episode of Close Up, I'm joined by the best tag team in the world, FTR. Guys, I am here with FTR. We've been having a hell of a time before the camera even started. I don't know about you guys, but I am like empty stomach, 6 coffees in. We are just white knuckling it through the day.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, yeah, and
Whew.
yeah, and brown hole in it too because I've
Oh
had so
my
much
goodness.
coffee. Yeah.
Wow, okay,
yeah,
guys,
no food
just
and too
buckle
much
up.
coffee.
We're going to have a great day.
Yeah, let's go. If there's one thing in life
It's a
that's going to
cleanse.
happen, I'm going to drink coffee and then I'm going to my pants.
I think that's all of us.
Oh, yeah?
Really.
When you get to a certain age? Yeah, I guess so.
Anyways, Cash, how's your life going? You seem to be having a nice time.
I'm great.
Yeah?
Yeah. I mean, I feel good right now. I'm overly caffeinated. Undernourished, and
Good.
happy.
That's how I like my
You know?
interviews to start, just like really the bare bones.
That's my day-to-day.
Yes. It seems like you're in a lovely relationship. Do you want to talk about that or no? A little bit?
I mean, I am in a lovely relationship, but I
Yeah.
don't like talking about it too much.
Okay, that's fine.
I mean, I'll talk about my relationship.
I know
Big
you
surprise.
do. I know you do. No, it's very nice to see you happy and in a good place.
It's been a good year.
Yeah.
I'm not going to jail.
Follow-up question on that. Put a pin in that one, guys.
Got out of Florida.
Well, not yet. You're not going to jail yet. You don't know.
Yes.
Something else might happen.
Yet. But no, it's nice. Like, I get to be home in the mountains, and we both enjoy the same things.
Yeah.
So, like, it's awesome. I love
Great.
it. Like,
Good.
I miss being home. So,
Good. I will just say I always felt like you were that guy. And I'm like, he needs a good thing. You're a great catch. I'm happy for you. Very good. Okay, you're not going to jail.
hell yes.
Yes. Talk to me about all that. I mean, we can be lighthearted on this side of it, but like, wow, that was a rough patch for a minute.
Yeah, it was. That was a very rough patch. From August, when I found out about it, to May, when everything finally got dismissed as it should have been the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a long stretch, and there was a point in time where like I couldn't think about life after May.
Yeah.
Because I knew like everything hinged on that. Like that was the be all end all. Because I mean, I'll go into it, but I don't want to take up everybody's time for too long. But like I told my lawyers when it happened, like I would not take any sort of plea deal. I would not plead guilty to any charge whatsoever. That like I was not guilty, and I was not going to take any sort of plea.
Yeah.
But on the flip of that, that means I face the full repercussions if they do find me guilty.
Oof.
So like that's.
So just to be like a dum-dum here, what would have happened in that situation of like what could those repercussions have been?
That's the thing where like I don't know for sure because it's based on priors and like history and stuff like that, which I don't have.
Yeah.
But the maximum for that, if the judge sees fit, is 5 years in prison. Like so, but like, and I knew that, but also like I knew that I didn't do it, and I was not gonna sit here and be like, I'll take any charge whatsoever.
Yeah.
To not go to jail, like, because if I do that, then this goes away.
Yeah.
Like AEW has to get rid of me. I can never leave the country again.
Yeah.
So like it's just like everything I've ever worked for over something that never happened, and just the way it all went about. Like I don't see how it ever got that far. I didn't even find out about it till a week after the fact. Like they never pulled me over and found anything. They never came to my house and searched. They never had a witness, a picture, a video. All they had was one guy's statement, and that was it. I found out a week later there was already an arrest warrant for me.
What was that like for you, like coming into work? I mean, you've got this like black cloud hanging over you for so long, yet coming in, you guys are going to work. And I mean, thank God you guys have each other during all of that.
I don't want to speak for him, but really quick from my perspective, he told me, he was like, hey, I just want to, when he told me everything that happened, I guess maybe a week after he told me when it happened, he said that I think, because we have 2 separate contracts, he said, I think I'm going to retire because I don't want to subject you to any of this stuff that I'm going through. And like, because he knew the backlash on Twitter, because Twitter's the cesspool of all social media.
Sure.
And he was like, I'm just going to retire, and you don't have to worry because your contract's with you, and I'm just going to leave wrestling and go live in. He has a little cabin back home. He said, I'm just going to live there and not worry about it anymore. And so I had to talk him into not retiring.
So, okay, going back to like coming into work through all of this and being on TV and being present and having these matches that you guys were having, like, what was that like for you guys having that looming over you?
I don't know. Like, I'll let Dax like answer that part for himself. But for me, like, it wasn't. I mean, I didn't love it,
Yeah.
but at the same time, it was the only chance I really had to escape from that. And so, like,
Sure.
And I literally didn't know like which match would be the last one. So like every time we're going out there, I'm like, all right, let's go out here.
That's
like,
so sad. That like kills me to hear that. Oh my God.
Yeah, and I was afraid. I was afraid for him, of course, but I was afraid for us too, because we've worked so hard, and now it's almost cliche for guys to say, well, I'm gonna bet on myself and I'm gonna go out and do this myself. But if you really think about it, we were the first guys that left the other company because we believed in what we thought we could be.
Yeah.
And so we had done so much great stuff, and we had built this legacy that I am obviously, I talk about it every week, but so proud of it.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of what we've accomplished, because not just because we can go and say we might be the greatest tag team of all time, but because of where we both came from. We both came from, I mean, especially him, but came from nothing, didn't have the greatest family relationships, and we loved it so much, and we brought ourselves out of that and made something and both built a family out of it and all this stuff. So I was afraid for that, but I just remember all those days coming to work, talking to him on the phone. I had to be so positive for him, because I knew if it were me, oh my God, there's no way I would be able to sleep at night, because I would be so.
Yeah.
But sometimes if you have that calming voice that says, look, dude, we believe you and you're gonna be fine. And when we went to Wembley and wrestled the Bucks in front of 80,000 people, that's when I was like, you know what? I think we're gonna be okay. Because I was expecting the fans to turn on us, and they didn't. They embraced us and loved us more.
Yeah.
the thing about coming into work, and I'm sure there were people that talked when I wasn't around, and I'm sure there were people that had some whispers to say or whatever, but like, I never like wasted too much thought about that.
Yeah,
Like,
I didn't really see you
like there's
getting
only
caught
so,
up
like,
in that.
and I can't like, and I have to be able to compartmentalize these things, and I came from a pretty rough upbringing, so I feel like I can handle a lot of pressure and like stressful situations fairly well. And it's like I just did what I could with it. Like I knew that I was innocent.
Yeah.
And like that's the one thing that I think like kept me from being too stressed out about it. But like, like I'm taking all the precautions I can. Like I'm thinking if it goes to trial, there's a good chance that somebody finds me guilty. And like so like I did what I could. Like when we got back from Wembley, the day that I landed, I paid thousands of dollars out of pocket to drive to Tampa to take a polygraph test.
Oh my gosh.
Which I passed.
He's never told anybody that except for like me.
Wow.
Because like it doesn't matter to the masses. Like the general public's gonna have their thoughts and their beliefs, and they're like the ones that want to think I'm guilty are gonna think it no matter what. The ones that want to believe me, they believe me the whole time.
Yeah.
But like, I paid thousands out of pocket to take a polygraph. Just like meet the parents. I'll tell you all
that
about it
must have been
sometime.
stressful.
Oh yes, like they put something on your palm, so if you sweat too much, it falls off. They read your pulse. They put the fingertips on
There's
there.
no even going in
They
not
put
guilty.
pads-
I'm like, my palms
They
are
put
sweating
pads
right
under
now.
your butt, pads under your feet, pads under your elbow, breath strap, heart monitor. So like they can read if you take bigger breaths, if your breath starts getting rapid.
Oh, I'd flunk
They can
it.
your heart rate. If you're clenching your feet or pressing down through your toes, they register that. If your arms are too
Wow.
tense, they register that.
And it's not anything they can use in the trial, right?
No,
It's just
something like I'm willing to
you
do
wanted
this
to
just to
go
show
and
like
do it, yeah.
and like they
Wow.
ask you like it's an hours long process, and they ask you all these it's the same 10 questions, but they ask them in different orders, and they ask you 4 times, and you got to sit there and every question is asked, and then they have to wait 30 seconds to register, and then you just go through it all again, and like so like
Wow.
it doesn't matter what he's asking. Every time he starts to talk, like I feel my body just my stomach just drops.
Yeah.
But I was willing to go through it, and
Wow.
then again, like it's not gonna change everybody's opinion, but like I did everything I could on my end to make sure that the people that did believe in me, like having to tell him, I'm just like, how do I even break this news?
Yeah. Yeah.
When he came to me to break it, he said, "Hey Dave, you got a second so we can talk?" And I was like, "Yeah, what's up?" He said, "It's really serious."
Was this like at a TV?
Yeah.
thing?
And I was like, oh God, you know what my first thought was?
No.
I thought that he was, because I do enjoy an occasional tequila after the matches, right?
Sure.
And we were sitting down, and he told me, and I was like, oh, thank God, dude. I thought you were gonna tell me you thought I was an alcoholic.
So, I found out again like a week after the incident happened, maybe a little bit more than a week, and like I didn't tell anybody until like I got to work, and I told HR and I told him.
Yeah.
Like it was in the Carolinas, so like my mom rode with me, and I didn't tell my mom. Didn't tell.
Gosh, that must have been like burning a hole through you.
So, the guy in charge of my case, he falls off the map for weeks, so I can't even turn myself in. So like I'm trying to do all this without telling like my family. Like again, like he knows, legal knows, and that's it. So like I'm trying to like get answers, and I can't get anybody to answer me for weeks.
Oh
and I'm like, what do I do? Like I don't want to get pulled over, because if I do, there's a warrant out for me.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to work with you guys here. Finally, they called me back and were like, all right, we arranged me to turn myself in. And so like that's when I started calling my family. Like I called my mom and I said, hey, I need you to know, like I'm gonna get arrested tonight. Like here's the whole story.
Yeah.
I'll tell you more when I get out, but like I don't know when that's gonna be. So I just had to like, I'm driving to the jail making the calls.
And did they have to like put you in cuffs and stuff?
Oh yeah, there's body cam footage, I'm sure. Like I met them at the police station, and like my lawyer's there, and
Yeah.
they read me my rights, and they handcuff me, and then they're trying to talk to me about wrestling in the car ride over, and I'm like, guys,
Not right now. Yeah.
I don't want to answer questions about Ricky Steamboat. I'm sorry.
Unless you're gonna let me go.
Yeah. God, well, dude, I'm so happy. Obviously,
Thank you.
that's all in your past, and that you guys had each other through all that. That Tony had your guys back, and like, find out who your people are in situations like that.
I'm
certainly.
petty. I'll waste the energy. I'll waste the energy real quick.
Well, I'm glad somebody's gonna do it. Glad someone's got it. Okay, you mentioned being in North Carolina. You guys are both there. I've seen all the photos circulating of you guys with Adam Copeland, with Beth Phoenix. You guys got Darby there, Sting's son. Talk to me about the group that you guys have out there, and being able to get in the ring and spend some time together like that.
Yeah, well, they're great people. I mean, God, man, I don't know if there's any better people in professional wrestling than Adam and Beth. I mean, they're so
Agreed.
genuine, so nice. Their kids are friends with my daughter, and you know, it's hard sometimes to find someone who loves wrestling as much as I do. You know, and even to the point sometimes where I get angry when I feel like someone doesn't love it as much as me. But those guys, Beth and Adam, of course,
They love
Dan
it.
too, they love wrestling. We're thinking, how can we help wrestling? And how can we help the future of wrestling? And how can we help the future of AEW? And I just think it would be a disservice, the four of us, all in the same area, it would be a disservice that we would be doing to AEW and professional wrestling if we didn't want to give back. And I think that eventually this can be our way of giving back.
Yeah.
Is maybe a wrestling school or something.
I
Yeah.
would love that.
Yeah, like Adam and Beth have been my wrestling parents for 12, 13 years now. I met Adam when he first moved to Asheville in 2009, I guess, actually. And like, we became friends over time, and he was still like, world champion and all these things. And like, he took the time to give me advice without like me even having to ask him. Like, he just wanted to help. And like, before I ever had anything to offer those people, like, they went out of their way to make sure that like, I was learning and had stuff. Like, they took care of me. So like, that's just what they do. And like, then like, eventually him and Beth got together. I was there for the beginning of their relationship. So cute. Adam was like, I think Beth likes me.
Beth is the best. Like, I don't think
Yes.
anybody in
The
the world could
sweetest.
say a bad thing about Beth. But I mean, you look at her and obviously what she's been able to do for women's professional wrestling. And she's one of those people, she loves it, and she always wants to like learn more. And like, I met Beth on like the commentary side of things, and even us being able to like learn that together, and watching her like brain start to fire up with all these like ideas and stuff. Like, I just can't say enough great things about her.
Yeah, so like having them help me like is what helped me get me over that threshold to get signed. And like then he and I became a tag team, and we've gotten to the point now where we have teams coming up to us saying, you've inspired us from before we got into wrestling. And it's like, I'm 37, man, come on. Pump the brakes a little
right?
bit.
Just calm down. We're
But
not that
like
old.
so many of the younger people have started coming to us now and asking and like kind of like, being mentored by us.
Yeah.
It just seems like that's the next logical step because we like helping the future. Like,
Yeah.
I want younger tag teams to step up. I want younger tag teams to take us, or at least try to take our spot. Like,
Who are some of those guys? I mean, I know that obviously you guys work very closely with them, and we've got so much stuff going on in the tag division currently, but who are those guys that you guys keep your eyes on?
I want you to censor this one, but the Guns, unfortunately.
All right.
Yeah, the Guns, I think the Outrunners have something different. I mean, here's the thing is the whole tag division, they all have something. They all offer something with their talent. I think, and I said this, I had like a Q&A thing on my Instagram, and I said it then, and some of the tag teams came to me and they said that they were going to take that to heart. But what I said was, I feel like there aren't many, and I'm not even just tag teams, I feel like the younger generation that we have here aren't as hungry to succeed or aren't as hungry to be the top guys.
Interesting. What do you think
want
that's
everybody
about?
to, like, they just don't want to step on toes. They want
Okay.
everybody to be friends. Like, they're more worried. And like, we're not saying you have to like backstab and politic,
Sure.
but like, you can be like with Gable and Jordan.
Sure.
We were so competitive with each other, but we were great friends. But it brought out the best in us. Like us with Mark and Jay,
Yeah.
great friends, but it brought out the best in us. And I don't see that competitive like friendship with a lot of the people. It's
A little
just
fire.
everybody.
They'd rather, I think, and this is not, I'm not trying to be negative on them. I'm just hoping that they'll hear this and say, oh, shit, that's me. But I think they would rather come to work and have people like them and have everybody like them rather than come to work and have a couple of friends, right?
Yeah.
And then more associates, and then people that dislike them, but they're still moving up. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I think they're afraid of. I think they're afraid of someone disliking them, and I don't know if that's
Is that
the
like a
culture
Twitter
now.
thing? You
Yeah,
think?
I don't know.
Like,
Yes.
is it from social media and people not wanting the backlash? You just want everyone to like them.
I think you're much more aware and hypersensitive to the fact if people like you or not now
Yeah.
because like you can see
see
it and
it.
read it all over
Sure.
the place. So I think that a lot, especially the younger people, like, and it's not just the younger people, but I think especially the younger generation that's known nothing else but that.
Yeah.
Like that shapes how they think when they're making these moves and they're making these steps and they're
It's really
like,
sad.
It is.
And not that I think this is a bad thing, but both the two top wrestling companies in the world offer guaranteed contracts, right? And you get paid so much money. So it's hard to even, unless you have so much pride, it's hard to even have an incentive to want to move up.
Yeah.
But what I don't think a lot of the young people understand is because in their mind they're like, well, if we win or lose this match, or if we work 100 matches, we're gonna get paid the same.
Sure.
But then eventually the contract's gonna come up.
Yeah.
You know? And if you, like for us, in 2022, we had the trilogy with the Briscoes. We won 3 tag team championship belts. In 2023, we had the 2 out of 3 falls 55-minute match, and we had all these great things starting Collision.
Yeah.
And all those things are upping our equity. So now when it's our time
that
for
value's all there.
when our contract comes up, now we can say, well, this is what we had when we were doing this. Now we've done all this,
Yeah.
so I think we can get a little
Yeah.
more.
The company is going to invest in you, but if you don't work to carry your part of the bargain
Yeah.
and the return on investment isn't there, they're not going to
You gotta
reinvest in
invest
you.
in yourself.
Yeah. You guys spend a lot of time with Tony. What's your guys' relationship with Tony?
I think it's great. I think it's greater than it's ever been.
Yeah.
There was a time, and I've talked about it before. There was a time in like 2021. I talked on your podcast, but I was going through some mental stuff and just very, very anxious all the time. And I felt that a lot of things were slipping away from us. But what I didn't realize was it was me that was slipping away from me. The self-love that I needed for myself, I was letting that go. And I would come to work and I would try to find at work, I would try to find that love, to fill that hole. And so when I would get to work and I would see, for example, I would see the Young Bucks on TV and they're having these matches and they're the tag team champions and they're getting this TV time, and I'm like, we're just as good as they are. We're better than they are. What's going? Why aren't? And so I would go to Tony's office and I would get so upset. And here's the thing, we
So
did
people might not have liked you.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we did the same thing to Vince too.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Like, we would wait outside of his office, we'd go in and we would say, hey, this
There's
is.
people that fight for what they want.
We're not
It's
just
you
content.
too.
Yeah.
Like,
And so our relationship with Tony back then was very tumultuous. But then I realized, like, we had a long conversation right before the Sting Darby match because he had hurt his arm and he was like, I think I'm just gonna quit, dude. And we had.
But at that point, it was because I just wasn't enjoying wrestling.
Yeah.
Like, and I didn't want to keep doing stuff like this where, like,
Sure.
to this day, like, it still feels a little weird.
Yeah.
Like, why am I going to keep doing that if I'm not? Like,
Yeah, that was bad.
We had the conversation, let's just have fun. And from that moment on, everything in our career changed. Our relationship with Tony changed. And now he believes in us. He believes in our ideas. We believe in him. We believe in his company. And I am very, very fortunate that I got to meet Tony Khan.
One final question. I know I've taken up a ton of your guys' time. You are all both very close with both Mercedes and Bailey. What does it mean for you guys to have Mercedes here and what she's been able to do to kind of change things and shake things up for the women's division?
It's a great get for AEW. And when we can get a big star, that wants to leave the wrestling company that's been around for 50 years, and they want to come here to make an impact, and they want to come here to make a difference in wrestling, and to that level, the star of that magnitude, then I think it's a win for us.
Yeah, I think just having somebody of her level of skill and, like, just status where she's at, like, she's more mainstream than a lot of the wrestling people that you're going to get. It's like having her come here is great for us as a company, but also I think it's good for the locker room.
Yeah.
Because, especially the women's locker room, because she's competitive. Like, she has that drive. She wants to be the best. She wants to be on the top all the time. She's not okay with, she comes to work one week and it's like, oh, I don't have a match. I don't have anything. I'm just here.
Yeah.
I still get paid. Cool. Like, no, it's like, I want to do something. I should do something here. So I think having that, hopefully the other girls see it and they want to try to compete. They want to try to hold their own. And, like, it gets everybody stepping their game up.
And this is the girl dad speaking now. But, you know, all the things he said where she was never content and she was always speaking up and taking up for herself and thinking she could do more. And the rumors that would get out from that to the dirt sheets is she's a bitch.
Right.
But if it were a guy,
Yes.
oh, he's driven.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
of course.
So those people, dude.
Yes. Well, guys, thank you so much. I'm glad we finally got to do this.
You didn't want to ask about my legal trouble or?
What do you want to get into?
Well, one time, right before I got signed to WWE, I'd actually been told I was getting signed.
I didn't know you actually had a story.
Yeah, dude.
Okay.
I was
Some bad boys.
I was drinking with my friends, and we walked out. And I was a DJ downtown. So
You were?
Yes, for
DJ
5 years. You
KC.
didn't know that?
No.
That's how I paid for my college. That's how I paid for my rent, my bills.
What was your DJ name?
DJ KC.
His
I'll
Indian
show you
name was
pictures
KC
and
McKnight.
stuff.
I did not know this.
Yeah, it was the biggest bar downtown. We would have 1,000 people every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Okay.
It was a party bar, but it was a country gimmick bar.
Okay.
So, like, we had the bull and we had the girls dancing on the bar and everything. But anyway, so I thought I was this big shot downtown. I was like, I'm such a celebrity. So we went into, we were in this bar that was next to our bar, and we were drinking, and we walked outside, and we didn't realize that it had already been last call. And once you have last call, they don't let anybody go back in.
Okay.
And we walked outside for a second, and then we were gonna go back in to pee, and they wouldn't let us. And I was like, dude, I've got to pee so bad.
I don't like where this is
So
headed.
I went behind our bar, and little did I know, cops were following me. And
Those
I just
sneaky bastards.
dropped my drawers and started peeing. And I was like, da, 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 da. I was like, oh no. And they said, finish up. So I finished up, and I got
That was nice of 'em.
I got a peeing in public ticket.
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
How much did that cost you?
Oh my God, I don't even know. But I was broke then. I
yeah,
have no idea.
sure. DJ KC wasn't.
So I'm a bad boy, dude. God, when all the girls at work hear this, they're gonna want me. Oh my God. And I don't even have my wedding ring.
All right, well, guys, you heard it here first. A couple of bad boys, but things are on the ups. I'm really happy that you guys are in such a great space right now, and let's keep kicking ass.
Yeah, dude, thank you. I'm glad we've got you too.
Yes,
Yeah.
thanks, Nene.
You're the best, dude.
Betty.
You are.